Friday, November the 3rd, 2017 to you. Something to notice happening in Westminster. This Monday, UK Defence Secretary Sir Michael Fallon admitted that he had put his hand on Mrs. Julia Hartley-Brewer's knee during a dinner in 2002. Mrs. Hartley-Brewer is a political journalist. 2 days later, Sir Michael had to quit. For his part, Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Damian Green has denied an allegation that he made an inappropriate sexual advance on Miss Kate Maltby, an academic and critic 3 decades younger than him. Mr. Mark Garnier, a junior international trade minister, was involved in a more sordid case. Mr. Garnier was reported by the Mail on Sunday newspaper to have asked his secretary, Miss Caroline Edmondson, to buy sex toys and called her sugar tits. By the way, I know a lot of construction workers who can teach Mr. Garnier to say more delicate compliments to ladies. Finally, last week, Labour MP Mr. Jared O'Mara was suspended for making slurs against a woman he dated with. Needless to say, I find all these events pretty disgusting, not because of sex itself, but rather because of the abuse of power behind every sexual harassment case. It is not a man and woman issue. Instead, what we have got here is a citizen who, regardless of his or her gender, has the right to say no, and another citizen who, once again, regardless of his or her gender, has the duty to respect it. It is very simple. Besides, if British lawmakers are so in need of sexual contact, they must spend some money on a masseuse service. Surely there are quite a lot of good massage parlors near Whitehall. That said, I also believe that UK Prime Minister Mrs. Theresa May is taking the occasion to purge the Conservative Party of her internal foes. Sir Michael was seen as her potential successor. Instead, he was replaced by the relatively inexperienced Mr. Gavin Williamson. He had served as the Tories' chief whip, a very important job given the current circumstances. As Mrs. Hartley-Brewer told BBC Radio 4, if he, Sir Michael, has gone because he touched my knee 15 years ago, this is genuinely the most absurd reason for anyone to have lost their job. I agree that there ought to be a firm, strict code of conduct for all MPs. I hope that Speaker John Bercow may get it done. When I say all MPs, I mean all MPs, both male and female. Sincerely, if I were Mr. Larry Flint, I would pay for evidence about any sexual harassment case done by a woman. That could show feminist lawmakers like the leader of the House of Commons, Mrs. Andrea Leadsom, or Mrs. Harriet Harman, that those episodes are not caused by either sexism or homophobia, but by sheer abuse of power. And for better or for worse, power has no gender. The world is still on.